Alright, and we're live. Let me go ahead and give a little shout out in the Discord here. And do you want me to keep track of the timer for us then?
Sure.
Alright. Alright, well, I guess just as a means of a little intro here, we are going to be doing round one of Lackey Grand Prix I'm here with Josh Potratz, and we decided to play Eye for an Eye, which is an alternate format proposed by Jared Strauss, who, and it basically is just kind of gives players an opportunity or kind of like an initiative or like a back and forth during preparation and discard phases, since we have so many territory class options now. So you all set to go, Josh?
Yep.
Alright, timer has begun. That's a lost soul. Make this a little bit bigger. Sweet. I rolled a 4.
As did I.
Well, now I got a 6. Beat that.
No can do.
Alright, I guess I will choose to go first. Got some meek souls there, that's fun. Do I want to use this star? Sure, why not? No. Wait, yes. Yeah, I do. Alright, let's see what we got. You know, I kind of wondered if this is what you'd be playing, and it makes sense.
Yep.
Alright, so there goes Shem's wife, there goes Zechariah. Got a chief priest, a dubious doubters, and a deceiver. Fun. Send to bottom. Alright, did you have any stars? I'd
Nope.
assume not, yeah, okay. Lawless myself, yield to all the top 6. Guess I will grab a repudiating rulers. Send the rest to the bottom. Alright, and let's put down artifact. Put down another artifact. Put down...
Actually, so, I believe...
Right, yeah. That's right. So I put down an artifact, then you get to choose. Yep.
I'll put a shield down.
We're doing. Sure. Then, in that case, I think I'm going to use dominant initiative, which does not pass initiative, I believe.
Correct.
Okay.
Dominance are still their own thing.
So yeah, we'll do Son of God, rescue one of these, and Second Coming, search for Son of God, rescue another one.
Yep.
And then I will put down another artifact.
Doubters.
We'll put down a Pontius Pilate.
Artifact.
And repudiating rulers, and then I'll play Mayhem.
Okay. You can hold it. Or you can play it.
Right. It's kind of nice, though. You get a +3.
Yep. So we already have, makes Mayhem a little less one-sided on the first turn.
And so the way it works with like passing to battle phase is that whoever's turn it is gets to basically just decide when we go to battle phase, as long as like you've had one last chance to play something, basically. So I guess if it's my initiative, then I can move to battle phase, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Moving to battle phase is just another action, just like playing a card.
Yeah. Okay. So then I will let's activate Denarius. Take an evil Roman for my deck. Go with this guy. That goes
So
to
I've
my
got
hand.
Shield trigger. Underdeck the soul. And then I will play this.
I got that guy back, huh? Okay. Then I will put down Domitian, and then I believe I can trigger Denarius right away, or manually triggered abilities.
You can. So it's technically not dominant speed, but it functions the same as dominant speed for eye for eye purposes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it's like dominant initiative, then manually triggered abilities, and yeah, then you go back to initiative. So we'll go ahead and discard that to draw 3. Let's see. And then
either you would play
I
a dominant.
Yeah, I believe it's back to you, right? Yep. Because I played Domitian. Yep.
So I will play this and go get Arc.
Mm-hmm.
This actually has some interesting. So if it wasn't for like if this was any turn but round 1, I could have gotten Storehouse and played it, and then it like gotten an extra upkeep trigger off of it.
Oh sure, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see. So you've got 5 cards in hand. One of them is Noah's Ark. And there's another Shield. Or there's one Lost Soul left for Shield, which Shield you've only triggered once this turn, right?
Yes. Also, I didn't remember if this was specified, but artifacts are still only the active player can activate them, or
Yeah, I believe so. According to Jared's write-up, which is linked in the description for anybody who is watching. But you can only play characters and enhancements, basically. I think. Let's see. Yeah. Only the turn player may activate an artifact, move a lost soul into a site, move a character in or out of a site or fortress. Any other rules-based preparation phase action that is not mentioned above.
Cool. Yep, that's what I figured.
Yeah, we got LOJ Games watching. Said hi. Okay. So... Is it worth it to do more searching here? Is the question. Probably. So let's put down. Let's just play Clinging to Power. We'll go find an evil card from deck.
I'll underdeck the soul.
Yep.
Play Arc.
Let's see. Guess I could just grab. That one. Yep. And let's put down a Meek Zerubbabel. That's your initiative.
I pass.
Alright. We'll play a Solomon's Dream. And I think it probably makes sense to grab this guy. This one. That card.
Seems like a good card to grab.
Yeah. It's not the best here, though. Let's see. So then we'll put down... put down a Simeon. Play the Numerous for 2. And I will grab... I'll grab this guy and Elizabeth. And I assume you're still passing. I guess once you pass once, I assume you still can respond to things, but
I think you actually can. So I don't recall what Jared put, but the way that I would do it and the way that it happens in Runeterra, which is where he got this inspired from, is once you pass, you're passed.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because otherwise, there's kind of like you can just like you kind of keep strategically passing, and there's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm operating as though it under the 1 pass.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could see that going either way, but I think that makes sense. But yeah, if it's going or if that's what you think that Jared's intention was, and then we can definitely play it that way.
I could see we can test it out though, because as I'm thinking about it, I think that would make less sense in Redemption than it does in Runeterra, because in Runeterra it's much more likely that players have a comparable amount of like total cards.
Oh,
They're
sure.
not like one player can potentially play like 20 and the other player would only have 2. That doesn't really happen.
Yeah. And I think that in Redemption too, I mean, like the way that we have it organized, or I guess that the turn player can basically like decide to go to battle whenever. Like there's not necessarily an advantage to just like holding or like continually passing, because even if you get to the end of your opponent doing stuff, you won't just get to keep on playing stuff. You only get like 1. So I think if you pass, then that should mean that you like aren't passed forever.
I'm good with that. We can play it that way.
All right, well, we'll try that out. Let's put down an Elizabeth and get your evil cards and territories. Sadly, not in set-aside areas. And then still my initiative.
Yep.
All right, we'll do delivered. That's kind of the annoying part about it, I think, is that there should be the option to F6, as they call it on.
Yeah, I almost said
MTG
I F6.
Yeah.
Confused anyway. I am F6.
Okay. So I will delivered into Book of the Law, which will bounce my Zerubbabel, and then I will make a battle challenge with Zerubbabel. We'll convert him to Meek, draw 2, ban 2, Eliud.
Zero card from hand or territory. That's.
Yep.
I may end up regretting this, but oh, actually, I can't do. Well, no, I can't even do the thing I want to do. Yeah, I guess I'll just get rid of this guy.
Cool.
And no block.
All right.
Yeah, no block.
All right. I think I will pass the turn.
Okay.
I feel like now, like, it won't really make sense for me to do a whole lot. Like, I think it's pretty much just the first turn where it's gonna matter the most.
Yeah, I think most of it. Yeah, I think you're right that the vast majority of it's going to be first turn. I do think that if this became an actual thing, especially even immediately, and then potentially in the future even more so, once like cards were designed with this in mind, there would be certain cards that there's potentially ways that you can mess with the opponent.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a certain card in the right moment.
Yeah. Hypocrisy or something.
Yeah. Priest of Zeus. Are you F6?
For now, yeah. I'll let you know if I
can stop you too. So I'll go. And I show you now, right? You show everything. I will take that.
Seems good.
And then we'll do that down. That down.
Are you returning one of my evil cards to hand?
Good question. Nah.
Okay.
I will swap Egypt with 2 Flood Specters. So then you need to discard an evil card from hand or territory.
I guess.
Shield doesn't count because it's set aside, right?
I guess it does kind of matter that Shem's wife is not optional then. I wasn't thinking it really would.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was optional either. Then that's a great point. I will go ahead and bounce your Domitian, I guess.
Okay.
So then you don't have to discard. I'll do look at my top 5. I will grab that.
Okay. So you are 26, if I did my math correctly.
Something like that.
Let's do Terrifying Beast. I will target Japheth's wife.
She's my Flood Survivors and territory are protected by Shem.
Oh yeah. Okay. Shem actually does that. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did anything besides the evil discard in the band. In that case, we'll target your Priest of Zeus.
Okay.
And then I will ban to yeah, we'll ban to Pontius Pilot. We'll withdraw everybody but Japheth. And then we'll exchange Japheth with Japheth's, or no, I guess, yeah, she's still protected, so. You don't have anyone in your discard pile, so yeah, alright. Guess we're just leaving Japheth.
Okay. First things first, I'll play that.
Yep.
This is not quite where I want to be. This is just gonna keep happening. I'm considering whether I'm doing something drastic or not.
A new beginning? Or second coming to a new beginning?
It would be second coming to Crowd's choice to something that kills Pilot. Then I kind of need to get rid of this problem forever. Or you're just gonna annoy me with this until the end of time.
He's pretty good. I mean, eventually you could get Noah's wife to negate him pre-battle, I guess.
That is true.
As long as I don't bounce him or something. But
we're doing the flashy option.
Doing the thing. Cool.
So let's see. It's gonna be this. To this. To that.
No fun.
I'll play it.
So that gives me special initiative. So I guess might as well. We'll stricken to negate it.
Oh, and also I'm gonna search off Faith Noah, assuming it goes through.
Oh, sure.
I will negate and discard stricken.
Cool. Yep.
Cool. So that does kill my own guy.
Yep.
Unfortunately. But get this.
And you get a soul.
Woo.
Jacob agrees that was drastic.
Probably should have arced Shim when I had the chance. Cool.
Oh, sure, when he was withdrawn. Alright, we got a sad imitate. Guess, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can play dominance before star abilities, right? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, I think that is probably the way to go here. So let's start off with let's do Emmaus Road. Let's go for I think we just go with the star. And I guess I should shuffle that in. Let's put down, or I guess, yeah, your initiative.
6. But let me know before you go to battle.
Sure. We'll put.
Well, I guess that's kind of. So for. I guess I can still ask that for dominant purposes, even though it doesn't. I was thinking of because eye for an eye, going to battle actually is much more strategic, but I can still ask for that.
Right. So I'll put down Gabriel. And I will... let's Evil Woes your storehouse. And I will then play the star. X is 3, so we'll do star, we'll do delivered, and we'll do Solomon's Dream. So let's check out your hand. Nice.
And then I'm getting delivered start.
Yep.
Right top card.
Oof. That was a good delivered.
Yeah, I would have liked to draw that next
turn. Okay. That was a decent draw as well. Okay. I'm going to put down Trapping Pharisees. I'll put down a Heavenly Host. Make a token. Let's do Fifth Seal. I think that probably makes the most sense here. We'll do Emmaus Road. And I'm going to play Emmaus. Let's go get David. Let's activate the cross. And yeah, then we go out with David, go to reserve for Matan. And we'll go play a Lost Soul from your deck. I assume no first, right? Yeah, okay.
You can have it.
Sweet. Let's play Clinging. We'll grab Saul. And I'll pass the turn.
How about that? I'll use the star ability on deck the Soul.
Nice.
Alright. Are you doing anything in prep?
You're good.
I'll silver cup. I'll get that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll now let's go ahead and do the lads. And with my no trigger, I'll exchange this to discard this.
Cool.
And I'll search your deck for an OT Lost Soul.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
There's one.
you won't find any, but
Okay. Cool. And then I get my Japheth for 5.
Oh, sure.
And I will take this.
All right. My block.
Yep.
Let's do. Yeah. Let's do Saul. Go grab an unsuccessful from reserve.
Okay.
Minish.
Yep.
We'll play that.
Okay. Like that. And I'll pass.
Okay. Now the Lost Souls come out. No stars. Lost Souls. Let's exchange something probably. Let's do Scribes for do Withered Seed. Alright, Woes will stay on Storehouse. Imitate will copy Crowds. I will play Withered Seed. We'll go Underdeck and Enhancement from your hand.
Okay.
Let's do that one.
I'll go ahead and Faithful and Corruption that.
Sure. Let's play. Play Pretension. I'm going to reserve my token. And I will reveal that good card and that good card to draw 2. And got a token for you. Suddenly now I don't want to search. Blocking, you may take an 2 black and answer from reserve. Huh. Okay, well, in that case, I will put down Golgotha and not search. We'll move the cross over there. Yeah, let's activate Book of the Law to bounce. We'll bounce Zerubbabel. And if I do that, that doesn't work. Okay. And I think I'm going to just push out. Let's do Zerubbabel. We'll convert him to Meek. Draw 2. Ban 2. Yeah, I guess I can't do both. I guess we'll just ban 2 Eliud.
Okay.
It's kind of annoying that I can't use Book of the Law to bounce your evil characters to turn off your Unity. Because you can just put them back down.
Yeah, true. And I guess you'd have to get rid of both of them, but I guess maybe you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Alright. I will go ahead and get rid of this.
Yep.
We'll do this. This.
Mm-hmm.
I'll exchange this.
Yep.
Mine-ish.
Go for it.
But
Yep. Okay. Let's put down Zechariah. I'll make another token.
actually, if you don't mind, can I have done this instead of this?
Sure.
Yes.
I'll make another token. Let's play. Yeah, let's play Clinging to Power. Go to deck. 4. I guess I'll grab my scribes.
Oh, I just noticed. I forgot this guy can band. I should have banded to your Saul and just taken the card.
Oh, sure.
And have-
Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay. I will Silver Cup.
Where is my Akeem?
We'll get this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do Earth. This.
Nice.
We'll go ahead and do that. So you can have him. So I'll honor deck cross.
Yep.
As Noah. And then for my exchange. Let's do this. This. And then, so you don't have an OT soul, so it doesn't do anything. I will check with 5. I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the rescue.
Okay, so 2026 is what we decided, right?
Yep.
And let's see, the cross is still active, right, for the phase.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do scribes. I will ban to scribes and ban to the chief priests to draw 1.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, so I'm a 9, 14 my initiative.
Yep.
I think I'm just gonna let them die.
No.
And you can have the profit.
Okay. Once battle's over, I will take your
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. You can have it. I'll take a risk.
Okay. Suppose I probably should have just given that one to you, knowing that you had Son of God in your hand.
Yeah. Maybe. Put this guy down.
Put down Joshua.
Go ahead.
Okay. Draw. Awake. Escape. Let's do Star on a Maze Road to look at your hand.
Okay.
Got a Tenants and a Clinging and a Woes. Cool. Let's do... Yeah, I guess I might as well. We'll do Awake to play a Lost Soul from your deck.
Okay. I'll delete the token, I guess.
Okay. And then I will imitate Awake to play another one.
And I'll underdeck it.
Okay. I will play Balaam's Prophecy, reveal my top 6. And we get to take a star card. Top deck the rest in any order, so we'll take Scattered Sheep. I will top deck the rest in we'll do this order, I guess. And I'll be drawing I'm gonna just draw 3 with Joshua.
Okay.
It's undesirables in play. Let's put down Akeem. And I'll use Book to bounce my Zechariah. And I'll put him back down to make another token.
Okay.
And let's see. Play.
Actually, Steve, let me think for a second.
Sure.
I will go ahead and play a good woes on Book before you replay Zachariah. So just delete a token, I guess.
Okay, sure. Makes sense. Okay, in that case, let's... Yeah, I'm going to play Angel to discard your doubters.
Okay.
And then... so book is negated, okay. Just realized I had a card in my reserve that I don't think I can... Oh, I guess I can, but I can't get it out easily. So we'll do... Yeah, let's do...
Actually, before you play something, I am going to get this.
Okay.
Proceed.
I will play Teaching in Parables. I'll negate Storehouse again and reserve Behemoth.
Okay.
And...
Alright, I can 60.
Okay. I think it makes sense to... yeah, just go this way. Let's do... Yeah, let's do David. Go to reserve for Jehoshaphat. We'll bounce my Zerubbabel. Ban to Joshua. Ban to Zerubbabel. Convert him to Meek. Draw 2. Ban to... Yeah, let's just do Allowed.
Yep. I'll do tens.
Okay.
And you tens.
Cool. We'll put those back. Let's put down a Herod's Temple. Let's play a Virgin Birth. Go grab Jehu from reserve. And we'll put him down. And I will play the Coming Prince to top deck Teaching in Parables from my discard pile. I will not trigger Joshua. And then I'll pass.
Okay. I'll go ahead and move woes to...
Did you play Woes as good or evil? I forgot.
as good.
Okay.
Put it on undesirables. You got a key.
Yes.
Cup.
He finally came out. territory class dudes. There we go.
Yeah. Drop a ham.
Dropping hams.
Go faith to reserve this. And then we'll do the boys. I will exchange clinging for
Sorry, talking to Justin.
All
right.
use this guy.
So not plotting priests, but
Yeah,
okay,
dubious
yeah.
doubters.
All right. He keeps coming back.
He does. And that's my rescue.
Okay, you've got 5 cards in hand. Let's do... yeah, I guess we'll try this. We'll do Saul, and we'll grab... Grab Romans Destroy Jerusalem from reserve.
Okay.
My initiative.
Yep.
Alright, let's get her some sheep.
Okay. I'll put... Actually, there's a, so... We forgot about Shim Trigger, and it is mandatory.
Ah, yes.
I assume, which actually might be relevant, because you can't do Entrapping Pharisees.
Yep. It has to be from hand then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, hand or it would have been Saul.
Discard
Okay.
Deceiver.
Alright, cool. So, I'll Arc Shim. And... the other guys can go to the bottom.
Her shuffle.
Oh, yeah. I will add Japheth's wife.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to... I wish I would have drawn it with Joshua. I'm going to trigger my Herod's Temple. So reserve Teaching in Parables to toss enhancements.
And Toss is no longer as a protection?
Correct.
That's too bad. Alright, I will pass.
I guess, yeah, it would have been mine anyway, right? I will toss Romans Destroy Jerusalem for 6.
Yep.
Did you go into discard or arc?
Oh, true. Arc. Probably not gonna matter.
Let's see. Oh, actually. Because that wouldn't be harm, but I guess it would still be defeat, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, heroes don't often get defeated by good cards.
Yeah.
That's happen. I guess technically it's being defeated by you, but anyway. Alright. Go ahead.
It's a little bit late, but sure, why not? We'll use the star ability on the afflicted to play this character. And then let's see. You have 4 cards in hand, and you're one dubious doubters. Okay, so we're gonna keep woes on storehouse. Imitate will. I guess it doesn't really matter if I do awake, so I guess we'll just imitate undesirables just in case. Let's. I'm gonna do Emmaus Road to reserve for first sacrifice.
Okay.
And I guess I'll bounce your dubious doubters with Book of the Law.
Okay.
Your initiative.
I'll put it back.
Sure. We'll do first sacrifice. I guess negate doubters. And let's get rid of that.
Yep.
And then let's put down an artifact. This might be kind of cool. We'll put down Domitian, put down Eliezer, and strength is 5. Okay. So I'm gonna make a rescue with this Heavenly Host token. Trigger the Heavenly Host to underdeck your dubious doubters. And then I will play Awesome Things to play an Angel Appears. My Heavenly Host token banned in Gabriel, who will ban to Matan to play a Lost Soul from your deck.
Yep, that's GG.
GG.
That is definitely a use of awesome things I have not seen before.
Well, good. I was like, oh, yeah, it's kind of a fun line. Because I was like, I need a way to get... Well, I think... Let's see. Yeah, I needed a way to get Matan and the Heavenly Host token in battle. Although I suppose that Gabriel to Matan, if I would just negate your dubious doubters, probably would have been good, right?
Well, if you do Gabriel to Matan, then I get to Sheol.
Right. Oh, yeah. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
The line actually mattered.
Yep. I knew I had a reason for it. It was just...
Yep. I assume there was an impartial judgment in there somewhere that...
Yeah, that was hanging out in reserve, but just didn't really have a great time for it. I might have just tried it last turn if you hadn't negated my Book of the Law, because that was my way to get it out.
Yep. That's what I figured you were gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you fit Eleazar in this.
So he's kind of the connection between the NT and OT, I guess. I mean, like, because then you can do Gabriel to Eleazar, and then ban to, David and Joshvad Zerubbabel and all that. So, yeah, it was. I don't know. I think maybe I am running it at 57. Could maybe try to get it down to 50, but I'm not sure where the
Yeah, it would be hard because
concessions
you're
would have
actually
to be
running
made.
like a real defense. It looks like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna like. I feel like 57 with the real defense is. It's slightly less consistent than some of the other decks that are around, but it's, I think, or like it's less consistent early, but more consistent at
It closes
winning.
games up better. Yeah. I think that's definitely true. I haven't had a nativity deck block me nearly this much. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little worried about like not having Hopper or Covet, but I think Matan handled it pretty well. As long as I could kind of keep your board clear for the shield triggers.
Yep. Yeah. CBN Matan being CBN is having CBN Soldier is really nice. Plus, you did do the you have Harvest and you're in Imitate, so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose. Yeah, that kind of makes up for it. But yeah,
I'm surprised no Hopper, but I guess you don't want it to break your Unity if you.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing. I think I don't know. It might still be worth it to try to fit it in because of like if I do like get everything on turn one, and just kind of go off, so to speak, then having the additional muscle to go after would be good. But I don't know. I think I got kind of lucky having, or with you drawing 3 Lost Souls in the opening, and then me having the Son of God second coming to just get those rescues out of the way.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying, and you had woes early. Like I never got to do it. Take anything out of the storehouse.
Right. Yeah.
There's a funny version of this deck that runs Cloud Joseph.
Sure.
In reserve at harvest time, with the goal being to deploy a CB in the storehouse and then harvest time burial all your lost souls. So you just put all of them on the very bottom, and then the opponent can never shuffle it, and you just sit there for the rest of the game.
Yep.
And I don't think that deck is better. I think it's too inconsistent because you also have to wait to play the storehouse until Joseph is down.
Yeah.
But I think that version of the deck actually would have had a better time in this game specifically. Like the CB storehouse would have made a big enough deal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think there's like woes is pretty much the answer to storehouse in this deck. I guess teaching in parables too, but yeah, that doesn't work either. So I'd no like betrayal or anything to underdeck it, or.
And you'd have to negate or remove the Joseph before you could even underdeck it either. Or I guess
it only protects from discard, I think.
I just thought, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I wasn't doing the impartial judgment with Ride On Victoriously, the 8th dominant would probably be Shipwreck. Vain Philosophy might be close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because at that point, I guess if I did have a way to discard it, which I don't even know that I did, but if I was running Shipwreck or something, then Golden Calf to turn off Joseph would work.
Yeah, true. So you have a way around. You have some ways around it, so maybe not. But.
I realized, yeah, the card I realized in reserve was that was Jehu's sword, which I think the only way I have to get it out is Book of the Law, because I'm not running wages. Which
Yep.
I think it was in a version of this deck previously, but yeah, I think Deceiver and Terrifying Beast are my only ways to play it. So
Makes sense.
but, all right, cool. Well, thanks for the game. Getting it in kind of in a good window for streaming. So
Yep. Appreciate it. I have pretty narrow availability these days, so that was convenient.
yeah,
That you were
worked
able
out.
right afterward for me.
Is your list pretty much the same as what Jay's been running? I noticed.
Yeah, it should be, because Jay and I have been like we're making the same changes to the same deck.
Okay.
So he has, like, I think there might be one or two cards, like one or two reserve cards that he has a slightly different philosophy about.
Yeah,
But
because I didn't think I recognized Covenant with Abraham.
that's the newer version. He does have it now. We
Oh,
made
okay.
that. We talked about it.
And then also Imprisoned Prophet. I like that edition.
That's the newest edition.
Yeah.
It's for exactly this scenario. I mean, the Soul-Gen is nice, and it's shield-proof Soul-Gen,
Right.
partially for the mirror, because Shem's wife doesn't. The reason I'm running NT Souls is for the mirror.
Hmm.
The hypothetical flood mirror.
Sure.
And in the mirror, you really want a way to generate a soul that can't just get immediately shielded. So
Yeah.
Imprison Prophet. Also, being able to get yourself out from under cross for free is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely missing the Joshua in reserve that I normally have when I'm playing straight up posties.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Your
you
shield.
don't have it, because if you've got the David.
Yeah, it probably still belongs in here. I'm not like sold on Jehu in this list. Like I don't know if it's all that necessary, especially if I'm not running wages to like go get swords. So maybe that could be Joshua and something else. But
Yeah, you might not need it if you have the Impartial Judgment.
Right.
Well, if you need more ways to pull Impartial Judgment, you could do the guy, whatever his name is, the guy that everybody uses to pull Impartial Judgment, and just put him in
Jotham,
reserve.
Yeah, that's true.
Jehu.
Could be good.
Yep.
So are you or in retrospect, I guess, would you have done the Second Coming to Crowd's Choice to Faith and Noah play again? Do you think that was the right move?
So if I had, obviously, like the baseline comparison would be, what if since I did get to play my Sunning Out eventually, would be what if I had just instead held my Second Coming until I got to use it and then gotten a soul that way. That was my only, using the Second Coming the way that I did there was my only way to a soul that turn.
Sure.
So as far as souls rescued, it was not a, like, I didn't minus myself a soul by using Second Coming that way, because I did get a soul out of it.
Right.
The only thing I really did that's actually negative was delete Crowd's Choice from my deck, theoretically, and kill my own Priest of Zeus.
Oh yeah.
I did also kill a few of your evil characters though, but I think it was.
You did get Storehouse
correct.
out too, which if I didn't have woes, that would have been good.
Yeah, if you didn't have woes, I would have been in a lot better position from there. But even still, I didn't really have any other way to deal with Terrifying Beast and
Pontius Pilate. Yeah.
So they were, other than Noah's wife, I could keep preventing Pilate over and over again.
Yeah.
But that would have been a little bit difficult, I think. And the Terrifying Beast would have actually been really annoying. It probably would have just, actually, I didn't have Priest of Zeus. You ate him with Terrifying Beast already. The only thing I lost was my Chief Priests, but I could get that back I was getting whoever I had. Which evil cards I had wasn't an issue, because you have this deck has Noah, so you can kind of get whatever characters you want.
Sure.
The problem was just raw amount of evil cards, and so I think me killing off one of my own guys to also get rid of Terrifying Beast was worth it, because I think even though I was struggling to keep above the threshold of evil cards that I would actually get to play them, Terrifying Beast would have cost me more evil cards than I lost to killing my one Chief Priest myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you probably wouldn't have, but just based on the rest of the game, I don't think there was really an opportunity to play Faith of Noah where it would have been, that effective anyways. So yeah, I think that
really.
Didn't really lose out on that. So what were your overall thoughts on Eye for an Eye?
I think it was cool. I think that if we weren't doing Eye for an Eye, then the fact that you had like your opening dominance and got to go first would have been even more impactful than it already was, because you probably would have gotten extra soul for free.
Yeah.
So I think I don't really feel like I have any room to complain about this loss being because you went first. Mm-hmm. Whereas if we weren't doing Eye for an Eye, then I could easily see how I would kind of write this up as like, oh, just another game where Nativity went first.
Sure.
Of course I lost.
Yep.
I got to put Shield down, and we got to fight over it.
Yeah, and ultimately that stopped me from rescuing the first turn. I mean, you probably would have gotten a block anyway, because I didn't have much in the way of enhancements at that point. But I mean, I guess that also kind of depends on how much I end up committing to the board right away, in like trying to kind of play for like the next turn, or just kind of trying to get everything out that I could.
Oh, you know what it did is the Mayhem. It made a huge deal with the Mayhem, because I would have just...
Oh, right, yeah, that's true.
I just got to, instead of you getting to... How many net cards did you get off Mayhem for you?
I think I got 5.
Okay, and I got, I think, 3. So
yeah.
I would have... So instead of you Mayhem being a one-sided +5 for you, it was only a net +2.
Yeah.
So I think that was huge, because I was struggling for just to have raw cards the whole game, and if you had 3 more than me, or if I had 3 less, then that would have been even more lopsided.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was probably the biggest impact by far, is the fact that I got that it didn't make Mayhem one-sided.
Yeah, that's true. I think that makes it definitely tames Mayhem a little bit. I mean, it doesn't make it unplayable by any means, but it just makes it not quite as much of an auto-include, I guess, that I think a lot of people see it as. I mean, especially in this style of deck.
Well, I still think, regardless of how much Mayhem may or may not benefit your opponent, any card that has the potential to +6 you, or even consistently +4-ish you, is you really, really very, very good at increasing consistency for decks like this, or almost any deck really.
Right.
So I don't think that with the fact that now you lose the potential to make it completely one-sided on the opponent on the first turn.
Yeah.
Is going to make it. I mean, technically it's less powerful, but not in any way that I think really matters. I think pretty much all the same decks would still run it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, I think my only complaints about it is just the kind of annoyingness of it, which is probably just because we're not really used to it. It's like just that it's a constant back and forth, and you can't just be like, okay, I'm doing this, this, and this. But I guess it does kind of make it more redemption-y, I guess, by in that it is similar then to the battle phase where you kind of have to pace yourself as far as your numbers to, like whether or not you want to pass initiative and that kind of stuff.
I think it would feel a lot better in paper as well,
Mm-hmm.
because with Lackey, you kind of have like you can't see exactly what the opponent's doing, so it's like you don't know where their mouse is going and stuff like that. So you kind of have to ask after every card, like, oh, are you done or not?
Sure.
Whereas in paper, if you're playing a card, especially for players that like are familiar with all the cards, if they just see the opponent like drop a character that's not territory class, then there doesn't even have to be any kind of like exchange. It's just like you just like play character, I play character. You just kind of go back and forth because it's only one card at a time.
Right.
I think it's even easier than battle, because with battle you kind of have like stuff happens every time and you have to refigure out initiative.
Right.
Whereas with this, you just play a card, I play a card, you play a card, I play a card,
Mm-hmm.
and then even if you play a card that like has a May ability where you might then go and do something, I should be able to very easily tell if you're just from watching you, if you're doing it or considering doing it or waiting for me to play my card. And so even I think that it would go really fast and feel really snappy.
Yeah.
In paper.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think that there should be some kind of allowance for more than just playing characters and enhancements, like putting lost souls into sites, activating artifacts, or would that be kind of like too balanced, I guess, or like I don't know, just too chaotic?
I don't think it would be too chaotic or unbalanced. The only reason that I would have a problem with putting lost souls in sites is fine. The only thing that I can think of to maybe not do is artifacts, because
Mm-hmm.
that would double the amount of net artifact activations in the game, because you'd be both getting it every turn.
Yeah.
And so for that would massively boost the power level of instant ability artifacts of all kinds, which I don't think we need to be doing, because
Mm-hmm.
instant effect artifacts are already by far the most used. So like a new covenant, you're now getting 2 enhancements off of a turn.
Right.
Book of the Law is a card that I actually like. I would be perfect if we had like balanced, if this was just how the game worked and the artifact design took that into account, that you're getting multiple activations. I would love to see cards like Book of the Law where there's like a utility, a potentially interactive utility ability on it that's an instant
Mm-hmm.
ability that doesn't like generate card in a direct way generate card advantage.
Right.
I would have no problem with there being an extra bounce off Book of the Law return, but an extra enhancement off of a new covenant is what it would result in most of the time, and that would be, I think, a little too strong.
Yep.
If it weren't for cards like that, which maybe could even be if we actually were switching to a format like this, and New Covenant was gone or something, then maybe it would be fine. I do think it would be cool to have like the ongoing artifacts be able to have different ones up. That also might be a problem, because then you could like perpetually have, like in Classic, you could have Covenant with Death up on your opponent's turn and then turn something else on it, then turn it off on your turn, and then turn it back on the opponent's turn.
Yeah.
That might be a bit much. So artifacts probably need to stay the way they are. I think that the fact that artifacts, like, you're locked into it for a whole round, if you turn on something like Covenant with Death or the Cross, then it's going to be active for both players,
Right.
is a very baked in part of artifact design that probably can't really be done away with.
Yeah.
And doesn't have to be. And also, like, the artifact being for the active player only, I think does preserve some of the like first uniqueness of being the active player.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's like, while I agree, I wouldn't mind doing like being able to put lost souls in sites, or occupy fortresses like your chamber or something. I think that for simplicity's sake, it probably does make it easier just to kind of group all of those actions together in, like, these are rules based actions, or whatever, or however Jared put it in the eye for an eye write up of like, you can play cards, but you can't, occupy them or activate artifacts, basically. I don't know, the wording on that, I suppose, might be a little bit confusing.
If we were like doing some, like not caring about the practicality of changes, we're just like theorizing like optimal redemption or something. A combination, like an adjustment of Jay's thing of like wanting to make it so that like activating artifact passes the turn or passes out of prep phase.
Yep.
But making that, moving it to discard phase and making it pass the turn, which kind of so it's tied, like, so it makes sense that it's an active player only thing because it's passing the turn. And that would depower. It would kind of break some artifacts because like Book of the Law is kind of intended to be like you're going to bounce the guy that you're resetting a guy that you're going to use.
Yeah.
But it could still work because you would just be kind of a half a turn delayed because you'd be bouncing the guy you're going to use next turn, so that would still work.
Right.
And the cool part about that I kind of like is that you get the whole. Well, for one, I already mentioned it. It ties activating artifact to the active player, and it also makes there be a defined action to pass the turn, like a game action to pass the turn, rather than saying pass turn. Which I just always I like game actions doing things rather than people manually doing things.
Sure.
When possible.
Yeah, it would. I don't know, might be kind of weird because then it's like, all right, well, you can't activate an artifact until you're down to 8 cards in your hand, and then if the artifact draws you cards or something like that, do you have to get down to 8 again, or like, how does that?
It would be after the artifact activation is done, because you activate the artifact and resolve the artifact, and then so like resolving the artifact and then going down to 8 cards would just be the thing, just how going down to 8 cards works.
Okay, so it'd be going down to 8 would be kind of more like the cleanup phase than like during the discard phase, basically.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, I guess I like it more, the idea of just like doing your artifact to be the end of your prep phase. Like now you're going into battle. It feels a little bit cleaner, and like, I guess, more in line with how it's been, I guess, or I mean, it's less of a change. And
I
think
would
it
never
have the
actually
same
want
impact.
to make that change. I think that's not like how drastic of a change it is versus how much theoretical payoff it may have, even if we did decide it was actually better.
Sure.
Is not worth it to make that big of a change for that small of a benefit. If we were going to actually do anything, then I would agree with you and Jay that it would be cool to have it be in prep, like passing prep and going to battle.
Yeah, and I think that was, I don't know exactly how it worked at that point, but I'm pretty sure at one point there was an artifact phase where it was like a separate thing. Or maybe that was just site phase. I know there was a site phase. I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like I remember artifact phase being a thing. But like, I mean, that could be the way it's implemented, I guess, where, there's your prep phase and then artifact phase and then battle phase. And that would make it cleaner, like, of if there is a going back and forth as well, where it's like, okay, I can do all the things that my opponent can do in their prep phase, but I don't get an artifact phase.
Yep, that would make sense.
That way you could occupy sites and fortresses and all that. But
also regarding the like discard phase and like making it a cleanup step, more like a cleanup step, I think that's inevitable. That we will eventually have the discard, discard phase will become second prep phase, and the actual discarding action will become essentially a cleanup step. I think the only reason that we don't already have that is because the design space of cards you actually want to be in your discard pile hasn't really been utilized.
Yeah.
and I think that's design space that it does exist in a game like Redemption, even though it's not as obvious. There's not as obvious ways to use it as some other games. I think eventually that is design space that should get utilized, and being able to just manually discard cards for free, I think we will eventually want to put cards in the game where being able to manually discard them would not be part of how they're intended to work.
Right.
And so discard phase becomes a cleanup step thing, and it's discard down to 8, not discard as many as you want down to 0.
Sure. Yeah. I think Concealed Riches is maybe like the first card that kind of does that, or gives you like a delirium kind of payoff for the MTG term of having cards in your discard pile.
True. There are also those like older, the old brown kings that say if it's such and such is in your discard pile.
Oh, true. Yeah.
When I used to sort out all my, I used to keep a big pile of cards that were like, these are the cards that I might someday put in a deck, and these are the cards that I'm not even going to bother sorting because I'm confident that they'll never be played. And I kept those guys in my maybe someday it'll work pile all the way up until rotation.
Yep.
Because the fact that they actually recurred evil cards.
Get that Grim Trick back.
Like, maybe someday,
Yep.
if they make a new version of the guy that wants to be in your discard pile that's worth playing, maybe it'll be worth playing this guy.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, like doing a King Amon to keep recurring your Scattered or something, with Manasseh in the discard pile.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that they should or want them to reprint like that exact effect. But I do think it would be cool to have cards that want to be in the discard pile.
Yeah, there definitely have to be pretty big restrictions on that kind of stuff, just because, with Redemption being basically, I mean, like the costs have to be built into the cards, then, having even just like a Moses and Elders kind of effect is pretty big. I mean, and obviously like Numerous, goes to your discard pile for free, and that's pretty good.
Yep. Well, I think it would have to be cards that explicitly only work from your discard pile for it, because like in Redemption, it's like harder to play a card. If there was a card that did something, it was in your discard pile versus doing something from your hand, it's harder to play a card from your discard pile than it is like to get a card in your discard pile than it is to just play it from hand.
Yeah.
So if there was like, just for example, there was some enhancement that was just it wouldn't be this, you'd make it more interesting, but just to illustrate the concept. If there was a territory class enhancement that could be played from your discard pile and banish itself when played, so like you couldn't loop it obviously, but you can only play it from discard pile. I believe you could give that card a larger power budget by a little bit than an equivalent card that is just a normal territory class enhancement.
Sure. Yeah, like if you did something like, Denarius, instead of controlling an emperor, you had to have paying taxes in your discard pile. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that could looking at cards that watch for specific other cards is also a way to do it.
Yeah.
There was an idea that Jay and I were talking about that he brought up the other day, that was like transforming cards. You'd have to have like a fancy name for the mechanic, but essentially you'd have cards like that are like Judges or the Disciples or a new Saul Paul, anybody who has like a dramatic transformation in their storyline, which is actually quite a lot of people in the Bible, and you would have some kind of like uber strong version of them that starts in your reserve and can't be pulled by normal means, however we decide to make that work. And then you have the starting version of them that goes in your deck, and there'd be conditions that have to be met for them to transform, and when the conditions are met, you'd get to exchange the two, and now you have this busted hero.
Sure.
That would be a way to add vertical design space into Redemption without there being costs, by making the costs meet this set of conditions.
Yeah.
And some of those conditions could be seize certain cards in your discard pile,
Yeah.
among other things.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of get that with, like, I mean, Saul Paul obviously being the OG, and then, having Ananias of Damascus and, Blinding Light as options to get him out and turn him on to being, one of the most powerful heroes in the game. Whether or not it was worth it at that point, but is debatable. But yeah, cards like that would be pretty cool. I mean, I think even like Nebuchadnezzar and the Roman jailer, like, it would be cool if their hero sides were more powerful, where there's a, like, you can make it more of your goal, I guess, to convert them.
Yep, I agree. Which there's a mechanic. Well, I'm not gonna. Tyler, I heard you scrapped the thing you told me about, and I'm sad. From context, you should. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Please unscrap. That's all I have to say.
All right, fair enough.
You might know what I'm talking about too. You probably, I think you know more things than I do about pretty much everything. So.
Maybe. I'm not sure if I know. I don't know. Tyler says a lot of things, and I'm only like paying attention half the time. So, yeah. Maybe I know somewhere in the recesses of my mind, but
there was a mechanic that was gonna be in the upcoming set.
Yeah, I think I remember.
The upcoming set.
I think I remember him teasing something about it at Nationals when you asked him about it.
I asked him if the cards that were the redacted text was that mechanic, and he said no.
Oh.
That's a different new mechanic. Apparently whatever the redacted mechanic was is, I have no idea what that is, and that's at least still in the set. So
yeah,
I'm back to not knowing anything that's actually going to exist.
Oh, it's more fun that way. Right. Just get to be surprised. Although, I don't know. I guess I don't really want to be surprised by more cards like Matthew or Denarius. So.
Well, hopefully there aren't more cards like Matthew and Denarius.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for sticking around to chat for a bit. I think looks like some people were still listening. Yeah. Jacob Antoinette said that he liked the transform idea, so
cool.
To present that to the community, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's where we'll wrap it up. So
sounds good. See ya.
Thanks again. See ya.